Hi, hello, and welcome in our video. In this video, we will be talking about permissions, roles, and teams. Those three topics are highly connected, so we will be creating just one video, but to make it as short as possible, without any further ado, let's jump directly to permissions. Right now, I am in a brand new project. I didn't change anything, I just created some members and assigned them to this project. So, everything you will see, every role, every permission, and every team is default one. Let's start our discussion with permissions. Permissions are assigned to individual roles here on permissions page. You can assign permissions at project level or for more granular control at team level. You can assign, create, modify, and delete permission that are based on artifact types, artifact attribute, link types, locations such as folder, artifact module, etc. etc. You see, you have a lot of options right here. I mentioned that you are assigning permissions to some roles. So what are roles? Roles are to identify the function of team members. We can assign permissions to perform specific operation to those roles. So when you create or assign users to some project area, then you need to also assign role to those team members. So I will jump back to overview and you see Igor already have some process roles, but Oliver don't have any process role. So if I have some members here in project area, I can click here, add process roles, and I can add those process roles to Oliver. Excellent, and I can save it. Perfect. If you are paying super close attention, maybe you saw that as I am trying to assign some roles to, for example, Peter right now, I see administrator, author, commenter, and configuration lead. But when I was here in permissions, you see also everyone. So why here in overview you don't see everyone as a process role? Well, it's because all users in the repository have the default everyone role. So everyone is default role right now. Peter's role is everyone, although there is nothing here. So every user, every member of a project area, even though you didn't assign them any role specifically, have already everyone role and can do everything that everyone can do. So in permissions, they can do everything that is based here. You see, role everyone, and everyone can modify ELM link, and print reports and save command and save personal view, etc. etc. So those actions can do everyone in this project area, even though you didn't assign any role to them yet. It is therefore very important for you to know that not only you are not able to assign everyone role to anyone, but you are not able to delete everyone role. So if you don't want anyone to modify ELM link, to print reports, etc., etc., then you need to revoke those permissions. Perfect, it's done. So you see, I clicked here on this icon, revoke permission for all operations, and right now, everyone role is not able to do anything. So you are not able to remove everyone role from members of this project, but you are able to remove any permission from this everyone role. So right now, although Peter is in this project, he is basically not able to do anything but to view artifacts in the project. Another thing I already showed, but I didn't mention it explicitly, and that is that you are able to assign more than one role to a member of a project area. So right now, I assign 4 roles to Peter. You should know that permissions from those roles are added together. So let's say that administrator can do everything, and author can do half of the things, and commenter can do exactly the other half of the things. Then, basically, adding author and commenter together would create kind of administrator role because those permissions are added together. Alright, and just couple of words to administrator, author, commenter, and configuration lead. Administrator can do basically anything. Commenter can comment, create personal filters and personal tags. Author, in addition to commenter, can create and delete artifacts such as the requirements, sketches, and diagrams, and can also add links to artifacts, create personal and shared tags and apply them to artifacts, create shared and personal filters, move resources between folders, create reviews, etc. So basically, author is the role for everyday use for average team member in your project area. And the last role is configuration lead. Configuration lead can create, modify, and archive configuration, and also configuration lead can deliver other users' change sets. There is of course possibility to create special roles. So if you don't like administrator, author, commenter, or configuration lead, and you would like to have another role, so it's not enough to just remove or add some permissions, but you would like to have totally different role, it's easy to create one. You can click here on this button and you can create your special role. Great, you can give this role a name once again, and this cardinality is just to indicate if this role is supposed to be added to more than one or just one member of your project area. But this is just indication, it's not enforced. So you can indicate, okay, just one user should have this special role, but you can still assign this role to more users. So I don't know, but for me, this is not very useful. All right, I can save it. And right now I have my special role and I can jump to permissions. I can select my special role. Perfect. And let's look at the permissions. And everything right now is denied. So basically, you will be creating whitelisting. Whitelisting means that everything is blocked and you need to specifically select permissions that will be allowed. So this is whitelisting. For example, I will start with baselines and I can assign specific permissions to this specific role. Just by the way, what you see here are not already all options. You can click on this button and right now you see all options. I can scroll down and you can see that, for example, you can create a link or create just specific link. So for example, my special role can only create embeds link and nothing else. Or for example, my special role can only delete link, etc. So you can be very, very granular. You can drill down to specific link type or to specific artifact attribute or to specific artifact type. All right, but right now let's talk about teams. I will jump back to overview and right here on the right, you see team area hierarchy. Right now, I don't have any teams. I can click on this button right here to create team and I am creating new team. You see team area name, team 1. Save. Perfect. Right now I have one team and I can have special roles and special permissions for members of this specific team. As you see, teams are created as a children of a project. You can create multiple team areas in each project. Those team areas are hierarchical, so users who are members of the parent project or team area are effectively members of the child team areas. So right now, I don't have anyone in a team number 1, but I have someone in a roles and permissions, so in a project area. Therefore, Igor, Oliver, and Peter are also members of team number 1. Teams and team areas are totally optional. You don't have to create any teams in your project. But if you are creating teams and you are working also with permissions, you should know that project level permissions take precedence over team level permissions. So if you would like to have some user that should have permissions only that are assigned to team, then this user should not be added to these roles and permissions. So they shouldn't be added here. They should be added just here in a team. All right, that's more than enough for theory. Let's now see some practical example. I can go to my second browser and right now here I am Oliver. And Oliver is right now administrator with all roles possible and just see this pencil icon right now Oliver can do anything. Let's assign Oliver to some specific team, this team 1 we created, and let's remove some permissions from Oliver. To do this, I will navigate back to my administrator account. I will add Oliver to this team 1. So members, add Oliver, next. And here he will be also administrator. Finish. Perfect. Save. Perfect. So right now, Oliver was added to team number 1. He's administrator, and his permissions are right now basically the same as he would have in the parent project, because those permissions are inherited from the parent project to this team. Before we will change any permissions, let's assign his team to some folders here in a project. So I will click on the requirements. Here we have most of the modules we will be working with, and I will right click, assign team ownership. I will click on team number 1, and I will also select that all subfolders and artifacts should be assigned to team number 1. Okay. And I will also go to base artifacts, and right now I will select entire folder. So click here, team number 1, all subfolders. Perfect. And I can jump back, and now I can try to change some permissions. I will be focusing just on administrator permissions because Oliver is administrator. And you see this icon? This icon means that those permissions were inherited from the parent. So as I said, all permissions are inherited from the project right now. Okay, but I would like to change those permissions. So for example, let's click on save a link, and let's tell that Oliver shouldn't be able to do anything with links. So I can override those permissions inherited from the project level. I will click here, and you see right now Oliver can do anything with links. I can deselect just deleting link, or I can click here on the parent, and right now Oliver is not able to do anything with link. I can click on this pencil icon, and I can final, so ignore customization of this operation in child areas. So if I would like to create hierarchy, so team under this team number 1, then in this child team, they wouldn't be able to change this permission. Also, I am able to show some explanation. For example, okay, something like this. Why not? Okay. So right now, Oliver shouldn't be able to do anything with links. I can go up here, click on save, and we can jump to Oliver and try it. Just quick information, Oliver still will be able to do everything. And you see, Oliver is able to change content, but also to create and delete links. I will create any link, for example, this one. All right, and you see, it was done. And I can delete this link. And again, I was successful. Although, if I will jump back, administrator, save link, you see, Oliver as administrator shouldn't be able to do anything. Why? It's easy, because if I will jump back on a project level, Oliver is also here. And it's about inheritance. So although we removed administrator privileges from the team, but Oliver is also here. So Oliver is administrator here, and in this administrator privileges, Oliver is able to work with links. So maybe you would go here, edit process roles, and you will remove every role in a project level. I will save it. Okay, so Oliver is not administrator, he is nothing in a project level, but on a team level, Oliver is still administrator. Great, right? Let's try it right now. I will refresh it. And you see, right now, Oliver is able to make changes on the content. Perfect. But Oliver is not able to work with links. So I will try to create a link, and I am not able to create links. So, or for example, I will try to delete this link, but I am not able to click on it. So, okay, it is working as designed. All right, and the last exercise would be to create some specific team, for example, systems engineers team, with special role, for example, called systems engineer. and this role will be basically the author, but systems engineer should be able to only modify systems requirements and, for example, headings and information. Perfect. So let's do that. I will just rename this team to systems engineers. Perfect. And roles, we need to create new role. Excellent. And permissions for this new role will be basically author. So I will copy paste permissions of the author. All right, that was quick because you see here in a team level, you don't have as much information as here in project level. So right now I just copy pasted permissions that have author in project level to this system engineer in a team level. That's a good start, but that's not enough because right now system engineer here in a team level has basically the same privileges as authors in a project area level. So, as I said, systems engineer should be able to work with engineering artifacts, for example, like system requirement information and heading. So I need to go here to save artifact, create artifact of specific type, and for example, as I said, just systems requirement artifact. So I will deselect everything here. Perfect. And create just systems requirement artifact and system specification artifact. Perfect. And heading and information. Nothing else. Delete artifact. Again, the same. I will deselect everything and you can delete just heading, information, and system requirements artifact. Perfect. Modify an artifact. Once again, the same. You should not be able to modify anything else but systems requirement and system specification and also heading and information. Perfect. So that's all. Save. Excellent. Now I am going to overview and this project admin will not be administrator, but Oliver will be system engineer. Save. And now we can try it. So I am Oliver and I am in a systems requirement specification. And at the first look, I can do anything here. We didn't modify using links, so Oliver can do anything with links. And Oliver can change information. Oliver can also change some heading. And Oliver can change system requirement. Excellent. So right now it looks like Oliver can do everything, but I will navigate to another module. So I will go to stakeholder requirement specification. I will show you artifact type here. Excellent. Heading, no problem. Information, no problem. But diagrams and sketches, you see, not editable. Stakeholder requirement, not editable. So it's working exactly as we wanted to. So in systems requirement specification, I can create system requirement information. I will not be able to create diagram. You see, you are not permitted. But from what you see by default in systems requirement specification, then in day-to-day basis, Oliver can do everything here. But because he's systems engineer, he cannot go to stakeholder requirement specification and change stakeholder requirements. So that's how you can combine teams and special roles. All right, and with this information, I would like to conclude this video. As you can see, you can create custom roles, teams, and permissions very quickly and easily. But if I can give you one advice, just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. The beauty should always be in the simplicity. Everything you will do indoors next, the first thing you should do is to think about how can you do it as simple as possible. Life is hard enough, so let's not make it harder by creating new teams, tens of roles, and couple of custom workflows. Because if something will not work, and trust me, sometimes something somewhere will not, then you will spend a month troubleshooting it. Okay, so I really hope this video was informative for you, and I look forward to see you in our next videos.